A man who had spent his entire life laser focused on success, climbing the corporate ladder, building a fortune, never distracted by romance, never showed interest in anything else, and never even touched a woman until he met someone society would call beneath him. A poor black girl, unknown, unfiltered, and honest. And her kiss? Then, in one moment, everything started to change. This is a wealthy CEO, powerful, disciplined, who became addicted to a poor black girl's kiss. This man wasn't just rich. He was self-made, grew up with nothing, swore off distractions, and by 35, he was running a Fortune 500 company. But there was one thing missing: intimacy. One rainy evening, Daniel stepped out of a board meeting. The street was nearly empty, except for a girl no older than 20, shivering under a broken umbrella, selling roses for a few bucks. Her name was Rosa. No pun intended. He almost passed by her. Almost. But something about her caught him. Maybe it was the way she smiled despite the cold. Maybe it was the way she called out, "Sir, even kings need roses too." That line made him stop. She wasn't asking for pity. She wasn't selling herself. Just a rose. For $1. He bought one. Then another. Then he sat next to her on the cold bench and asked, "Why are you out here?" She replied, "Because people are kinder when they're lonely. Rain brings out the truth." It wasn't love at first sight. It was a curiosity. She was unlike anyone in his world, unapologetically herself, sharp from a world he'd left behind. And when she kissed him, science says that a first kiss floods your brain with chemicals. Dopamine for pleasure, oxytocin for connection. For him, it wasn't just a kiss. It was a revelation. A feeling he'd spent his whole life avoiding, and now he couldn't stop chasing it. He started canceling meetings, flying her out on private jets, buying her gifts she never asked for. His board thought he was having a midlife crisis. His friends thought he was being scammed. But the truth? He wasn't addicted to her. He was addicted to the feeling she unlocked, the vulnerability, the excitement, the human connection he'd spent decades suppressing. We see this often with high achievers, especially men who delay emotional experiences. When they finally encounter deep intimacy, it hits like a drug. The brain doesn't know how to process it in moderation. Within months, he was reckless, missing investor calls, letting his empire slip, all for another hit of that kiss. And then she walked away, not because she didn't care, but because she recognized the toxicity before he did. This isn't a story about a rich man and a poor girl. It's about what happens when you suppress basic human needs for too long. The brain will rebel. And sometimes it rebels in ways that don't just disrupt your life. They reshape it. The CEO recovered. The woman moved on. But the lesson remains. No amount of success can replace the human experiences we're wired to crave.